Hi, everyone. Today we're going to talk about the concept of containers and information and how that relates to what you experienced during enlightenment and what you can experience as you experience different lokas. So, containers and information. And this is a great thing to meditate on and to think about as you pursue your spiritual practice. So, one of the things you experience, for example, when you experience the systems view, one of the systems view, or that you can experience, for example, and one of the ones that you can see in the Kalachakra mandala, is that in essence, everything except the structure, if you will, of the Kalachakra, everything that moves within the Kalachakra is actually containers and information. So I'll give some examples here. When you're talking about containers, um, everything in a sense can be a container. So in a sense, for example, I'll give some examples here. Um, the human body can be seen as a container for the soul. The human body can be seen as a container um, for, for example, other containers, right? So containers within containers and information within them. So for example, I'll give an example, DNA, right? DNA in the sense is a container for information, right? When you look at how things move in systems view of the Kalachakra, you see basically we've discussed, how you have blocks, if you will, as you can see in the Kalachakra mandala, that are moving through these tunnels, right? So what are these blocks? These in essence are containers that contain information, right? They can also contain other blocks. So, for example, you go to the store, you pick up some groceries at the store, and you leave with those groceries. Okay, so in essence, what's going on here is that your container, the container that you are in essence, is picking up other containers that contain information and moving with those. So at this point, you have the question, you have containers that can move by themselves, if you will, and containers that do not move by themselves, if you will, that are not activated, but that can be moved or picked up by other containers. So, for example, let's say you have a letter, you have an envelope, which is a container for the letter, okay? The letter is a container for a message, right? It's a container for what's written on the letter, etc. So you can see that everything in a sense is a series of containers and the information contained within those containers. Now you have containers that are able to move on their own right in essence, and that refers to containers in a sense that are propelled, if you will, by divine energy. Okay, so now we've talked about the energy loka, where we exist as beings of energy. And I've discussed, calling it also the third kingdom. We've discussed, how there are different stages, how centers, if you will, let's just say humans for the benefit of this discussion, have different stages where you absorb the energy, the divine energy, the light of God, if you will, from the top, and store it in your body. So your body becomes, in essence, like a battery that recharges, right? And in essence, also a container for that energy, and that energy can be distributed as well to your kingdom in that sense. Okay, so very fundamental principle of understanding these things: containers versus information. Okay, containers that store energy, right? Uh, for example. Okay, so just something to meditate to think about as you practice containers versus energy. And then you can kind of, when you're looking at the world, when you're discovering the world, you can kind of see, oh, that's a container, right? That's information. That's another container being contained by another container. That's containers and information being moved by a container, in essence, that has been activated, if you will, um, with that divine energy in a way so that it can move. So what we're doing basically is containers are moving around, okay, or not, and they contain information. And so that in essence, what you have is the containers moving around and the information moving around. Okay, so just one thing to think about as you further your practice, to meditate on containers and information that are contained within those containers. Thanks for listening.